Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening somewhere. Let's see what we got going today. Tomorrow is what we refer to as the double header. It's going to get wild. It's going to be woolly. We got inflation and the Fed. It's going to be truly entertaining. Truly entertaining. So, at this point, pretty much what it really comes down to is... so at this point in time, it's constantly a consistent dance of what's the best way to describe it? A dance to resolve the direction of the markets. Basically, I mean that's what it really is. It's when it comes to inflation and unfortunately the Mr. Biden, this administration, it's I don't know, it's like their mantra, it's let's get the dollar index up there. There we go. There's the dollar index right there. You can see this is like the gauge to what tomorrow is. We see when it's drifting down the dollar, we've seen how the euro drifts up in value. Let's see if you can find the euro here. Just a simple concept here. And right there. And, it drifted up in value, the euro. Now, when we're looking at, we use our algorithms for the last almost 50 years. And this is a weekly algorithm. This is a daily algorithm. And then this is the daily bars. And then there's a red and green dots that are also one of our algorithms. And so they're all combined together. In other words, in a sense, they're the same type of mathematics or formula, only enhanced and smoothed and adjusted. And that's what we do here at the webinar. We take a look at what's in the news. We look at the different products, be it the euro or gold or oil or Apple Computer or NVDA or whatever stock you might be interested in. It might be cocoa. It might be, in the case like I said, cocoa right there. We can see, it's been in a buy for a while, going up from the 7,000 area. And next thing you know, it's trading around the 10,000 area. And we've been in a daily buy for weeks. When it comes to the weekly buy, we've been 3 weeks in a weekly buy since basically back in the 25th. So when that's the Sunday of that week, we're getting that adjusted on our new platform, and there is the 24th. So it goes into the buy pretty much the same time we went into the weekly buy. It doesn't always work that way, and so here's your example of having the right trend, and that's what we do with our algorithms. We do our webinars because it's easy, because we're able to have the trend almost 9 times out of 10, a little less than that. It's 8.6 out of 10 times we can have the right trend. So tomorrow is like a little mini Super Bowl or a World Cup. We have what the administration is hoping for to help them get reelected, and that is inflation and lowering of interest rates. And that's what the dollar index is trying to tell us. In this case here, with it gliding down, it's telling us no, they're not lowering the interest rates. And just the last 3 days, we've gotten this pop. It's made up over almost 3/4 of the way that it dropped over the last month and a half. And the next thing you know is, they're thinking, oh, maybe they will lower interest rates. Yeah, that's what that means when it pops up like that. It means that actually, when this is dropping, it means we're lowering interest rates. When it's popping up like this, it means they're not lowering interest rates. So it's trying to tell us right here that they're not going to lower interest rates. Sorry about that. I was thinking I was looking at the euro. And so that's what the dollar index has been trying to tell us, is that interest rates are, when this rises, interest rates are rising. That's what it comes down to. Because money wants to come in and be secure and get a return in their investment. That's the key to this whole thing. The whole idea is to get a return in your investment. That's why you trade through Dukascopy and so forth, is because you want to make money. Money. You want to make money. All right, let's get the chat line up. See if anybody has jumped in and said, hey, I'd like to see this, that, or the other thing. Let's see. Let's get that chat line up. Right there. And let's see what the chat line has to say. Nothing so far. I don't see anything up there. Let's see. Let's just double check again. There's Robin. Robin says, "What are what markets are you following?" And it's Doc. And so, in this case here, we follow all of the markets. You know, if it's not silver, it's gold, and if it's not gold, it's oil, and if it's not oil, it's soybeans, and if it's not soybeans, it's cocoa, and if it's not cocoa, it's corn, and so forth and so on. Bean oil, or stock indices, or the Nikkei, or we just follow them all on one slice or another. All right, so we kind of got a general idea here. You can feel it. Again, with the little World Cup happening tomorrow in finance, I'll tell you what I believe we're going to see, and that is more increased inflation. And that was one of the reasons why we saw the European Union's Parliament switch to center right from center left. And that is because they're tired of paying all this inflation. They're tired of not seeing their economies grow. They're tired of illegal migration being justified. The general population is saying, hey, I'm tired of paying more for my energy prices in the wintertime. They're just tired of this fantasy land, I guess you could call it. So far, it's never worked anywhere on the planet. But if anybody knows where it has worked, let us know, because so far we've not been able to find a solid socialist nation or communist nation that's doing better. Instead of having iPhones, maybe they have, or Apple phones, maybe they have peach phones or tangerine phones. Maybe they produce just as many and we don't see it. Maybe they have more production than we know and they're hiding. Who knows? It's like Shangri-La, The socialist communists are hiding in their Shangri-La, and it's just the mountain only opens up every so often. But sure would love to know where it does work, because we have not been able to find it anywhere working. Okay, let's go over to... Let's see what's going on from there. Let's go over to the euro. Let's take a look at that euro. Let's see, let me just open that up, like so. There. Alright, let's put the euro back up there. There. You can see there, it's been climbing up, the euro, and the last couple of days they've been sitting on it, and in other words, they're pressing it down against the dollar. The dollar has been winning or gaining. I don't know if it's win or lose, and you can see it over here on the other platform, much more elaborate. You see that right there, just pressing down. And this is the third day in a sell. And there it is right there. Sounds like the Texas Stock Exchange is taking off. Texas Stock Exchange has $120 million of funding now. They're going to go challenge the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. And they have the chairman now on the financial show as we speak. Huh. 24 investors, $120 million into the new exchange. And what they'll do is they'll cut prices. How about that? Times are a-changing. Okay, so from there, we take a look at the cable. See what the cable's up to. I saw someone this morning on the cable saying, we started it in 2016 to move to the center and move to the right in the European Union. It's like, good for you. Be able to take the credit. And as I understand it, Nigel Ferrari, who led that back in 2016, is on track to possibly be the leader of the opposition in this next government, which is fantastic. He's as we like to call him, he's a Trumperite. He's friends with Mr. Trump. And there's the cable right there. See, the cable broke down. It's also on a third day, but notice we're getting a green and a red there. Right there, getting that little green and red. And then when we look at it over here on the beta, there we are. And there's the cable on the beta. It's trying to turn up already, and you can see right here on the daily. Let's see if we can get this. You see there, it's a 2 out of 3 days trying to be in the plus side, and today it's really leaping up. And actually, that's yesterday. It leaped up yesterday, so it's in the buy from yesterday, showing some real strength. And at the same time, it's flirting. It was flirting with the sell. You see that right there. We've been in the buy. It stayed in the buy last week, and now it's flirting with it. And when we go back over to the other platform, where is it at here? The other platform, right there, you see the cable solidly in the buy for 5 weeks, even with the little hesitation going on. I have to say our beta platform is a little bit more sensitive, which is nice. You know, it's shown us just as many victories, if not more, than our old platform, but we're still tightening it up. And it's not ready for prime time, but it's right around the corner. Could be by the end of this week. We were hoping last week we would have had our first copy. So more than likely, I guess it'll be Thursday, I might see the very first copy. And you might be seeing the very first copy on Friday morning. So that would be nice. All right, from there, we march our way over to the Swiss, the true inflation fighters. They knew when to jump on it. They didn't give you any funny language like transitory. And there it is right there. You see the Swiss been in that daily sell. They just went into the buy the last couple of days, which means it's losing against the dollar at the moment. This was when it's going down, it's gaining against the dollar. There's less Swiss to a dollar, so it's gaining. And you can see here we've been in a weekly sell for 4 weeks now. And this just basically told us that they're trying to pop up, and it was a pretty fast spike too. Whatever, as they would say, got the interest rate market scared, because that's exactly what it usually is. It's following the interest rates. Let's just show you that. There it is right there. See, we had that wild spike on Friday of last week. And from that, let's fix that so we can see what today's doing. And so there is the, you see it's lifting up a little bit, so interest rates are dropping a little bit today. But whatever came out last Friday made them concerned about the interest rate factor. You know, and again, we don't see a lot of, a lot of noise, but we see some noise from it all. And so that has been the action. And then when we look at it on the beta, right here, see the same thing at Friday, and then 2 days in a sell. That's yesterday, and our new platform will be showing us just like this platform, intraday, intraday, I guess you could say. And at the same time, once that's done, we will have an intraday platform too, to provide for people if they want to trade intraday itself. So you have here, there it is right there. And that's the weekly. You can see the strength in it, and you can see the same thing over on our old main platform. We've been in a buy, which means when the price goes up, the interest rate is dropping. And so when the price goes down, interest rates are rising. So they're trying to get back to just the close right there at this point. As you can see, we got a green and a red, which makes lots of sense because tomorrow is the mini World Cup of finance going on with the Federal Reserve and Bureau of Labor Statistics coming out not simultaneously, but on the same day. So that could be, let's put it this way, that will have some influence on the chair as he speaks. He already knows what the numbers are today, but that'll have even more influence. That will. All right, from there, let's see. Let's go to, let's find it. We will go to, where's that mouse at? There it is. Let's take a look at, I think we were looking at Swiss, so now, not there, it's there. Let's go to yen. Not there, but there. There's Swiss. Let's see how the yen is doing. There's the yen showing, that firmness, trying to move up. We're in the buy for 3 days. Climbed back into the weekly buy last Friday. That interest rate concern obviously put a hit on this too at the same time. Just when it thought it could cool its jets and start to roll over again. Because, the Bank of Japan would love to have the currency basically trading in between here and there. They would like it be sitting in the 150s area. 152, 151, not 156, 157. And so that's the yen. And they've been, we've talked about there's a haircut in the yen, there's a haircut in the South African rand. They're definitely having, all of them are having their issues with politics, just as the European Union is having its issues with the politics. And you can see, our beta, doing that hesitation thing on the weekly. The same situation right there, where we were in a buy, then we move into a sell. We go into a buy last week, or 2 weeks ago now, and last week we stayed in the buy. So there's a lot of pressure on the currencies because of politics. Policies. They're policies. That's what it comes down to. People sometimes get confused about when someone says politics. They go, "Oh, I don't want to talk about politics." It's like you don't have a choice. Markets move on the policies of the politicians. And so as much as we would like to not have to pay attention to politics, we we have to accept the idea that you have to, because policies, when they change, think about it. Think of the policies in Europe. You're paying 3 times more, or sometimes as much as 5 times more for energy than we are in the United States because of policies. Who they're willing to buy it from and what they're willing to buy. Same thing for inflation. That's how you get inflation. If you keep on making things expensive on the edges, then everything feels, it's total, effect on everything. So it's policies. Instead of saying politics, we should say policies. And then when people think about looking at the policies, then they realize they have to pay attention to the politics. I know it's hard. I know people don't want to, but policy is policy, and it dominates our lives. Taxes, costs of fuel and food and living, where you live. You can't just lay underneath a tree and go to sleep. It's policies, and more policies. All right, from the yen, we maneuver our way over to the Turkish lira. There's policy. So we call it the Great Experiment because we're watching it do these interesting policy changes in its country. And so, not to hammer it home, but it is an obvious thing. Every time they change policies, look at this currency. No more than, there is no more than a year ago, 2 years ago now. Here is, where's it at? One more time. There it is. No more than 2 years ago, it was trading at 20 lira to a euro or a dollar. And now it's trading at 34.78 and has been as high as 36. So it's policies. It's not like the sun came up and it just decided to grow euros and lira. It doesn't work that way. It's policies. And everybody who wants to hide from it can pretend all they want. And you're going back to basically of 21, the end of the year, it was trading at 10. This growth is policy. That's what that is. It's policy, nothing more than that. It's a government deciding to do something about something. Be it right or wrong, it's policy. Okay? And it's unfortunate, and that's why we call this the Great Experiment, because it's fascinating to watch the Turkish lira do what it does. It's an industrialized nation, and watch it do what it has done over the last 8 or 9 years. It's unique. I mean, we were following it. It was trading at 2. Back in 21, it was trading at 10. Today, it's traded as high as 36. Obviously, it's a live experiment in our face. In our pocket. If you live in Turkey, it's in your pocketbook. It's in what you eat, when you eat, what you have, what you own. And whatever it is, it's obviously a change of policy. If you think that's good, then that's great. And if you think it's bad, then that's great also. It's whatever, the freedom of the people to decide. They decide to have these policies. They want these policies to make their currency possibly go to 40 or 50 someday. That's the policies they support, they wish for, they want, they desire. And that's why I call it the Great Experiment. Because it's hard to believe in a developed country connected to both the Eastern and Western nations would like to see their currency travel this way. So, to me, every day it's fascinating to watch. It's like watching the psyche of the population there. The majority say, we like these policies. Okay. From there, we'll go to another policy situation. And that is the South African rand. And you can see it's been in that upwardly slope last couple of days down. I'm not sure. They haven't formed a government yet. They're trying to figure out what they want to do. And so, we're seeing a rand trading in the 19s when gold is over $2,300 an ounce, which is very abnormal for the way it used to be until these strange policies and this, the ANC's desire to annihilate a third of its own population and remove all their equity. And we've seen that work out in Germany back in the 30s. That didn't work out too well. So the ANC is going through its policy concepts. And that's why we don't see an 11 or 12 rand. We see a 18, 19 rand. All right. And so from there, that's what moves us over to the metals complex. Because when you don't have confidence in the government and the government's policies, you buy things like gold and silver. You say, I don't want their paper. Me not likey their paper. All right, let's take a look at the gold now. Me not likey that paper. And there's gold right there. See, gold's kind of just bouncing around, not really, it was popped up this morning. It's backing off a little bit. We're down in the 23.19 area at the moment. And, it's just not able to get out of its own way. It's in a weekly sell now for a fourth week, just like our beta. And we're in a daily sell for 3 days now. And, we had that Friday situation where it took gold down from the 2400 area down to the 2300 area, almost a 100-point drop. Silver, there's silver doing the same thing and flirting with the sell, and the beta is doing the same thing. Let's put that beta up there. I'll show you. Wrong mouse. Got 3 mice here. Mice's 2 pieces. And there's the silver. You can see there. Go that Friday slam. And that's the Friday slam right there. This is still a day behind. And yesterday still in a sell. And you can see now we are into the weekly sell. So it went into the weekly sell last week. And that basically, we'll see how it starts off tomorrow. Will show us this week's numbers. Oh, wait a minute. Here's PIMCO. PIMCO is one of the largest bond houses in the world. PIMCO is talking about real estate loans, and just as we've seen China lose 20 to 25% of their property values, PIMCO is saying that they're concerned about certain bonds in the real estate market. And investors are kind of cautious ahead of the CPI. And you can see the CPI tomorrow. They're thinking it's going to be up to 3.4 year over year. Remember, the president keeps on saying, it's down in the twos. It's down in the twos. But the Bureau of Labor Statistics is saying it's in the threes, heading for the fours. And when we follow it the way I do, we have Thursday PPI coming out, and they're expecting a 2.5 price. The PPI is consumer price, and PPI is I forget what the P stands for again. Producer price. So in other words, the manufacturers. So the inflation numbers are going to keep them shaking up, twisting and turning and acting lost. And you can see here a silver saying, it gets expensive to carry this stuff. That's why they're selling a little bit. I have my doubts that it's big selling, just solids, just comfortable selling. No, it's profit taking. Robin was saying to me yesterday, he says, it's the top trend, the top resistance. And it's like, that resistance is all-time highs. It's supposed to be tough and resistant. I mean, all-time highs means you should sell something that you own, because it's at all-time highs. And how many times, traders, have I said that stuff here? If you are long something and it's making money, if you don't sell it when it's making money, the next time you're selling it, it's when you're losing money. So, take a profit. And so, now what surprises me, I guess you could say, and I think I'm going to deviate a little bit besides looking at the metals here. I think we'll go with like this. Sometimes I usually look at it in the indexes. You know, you can see here's copper down 3 days, and you can see going on a third week of selling. And then we go and look at the platinum, which was really giving us that warning sign way back here when it banged against the $1,100 area, and it's pretty much been in a sell. What's that? Something like 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 17 out of the last 18 days, the platinum has been in a sell. It's on a second week of a sell. And let's take a look at Bitcoin. That's what I'm talking about looking at. Bitcoin. Right there. And I didn't show you the platinum. Let me just show you that platinum. And I didn't show you silver either, did I? There's the platinum. And there is the silver. So, looking at looking at Bitcoin right here, you can see it's kind of plateaued up there around the all-time high area. You can see it's pushing into itself for the last 5 days, right there. And you can see here we're still in weekly buys. It does not want to let go. So we'll see how tomorrow shows us what this week looks like. And is today Tuesday? Yeah, we should be seeing the 11th tomorrow. And that'll tell us how things are looking. But what's really sticking out of all of it is, you know, there are some people who have half decent track records. You know, they're pretty good. And one of them came out and said something like, we're really concerned about the stock market. We think it could be, you know, it could crash. And, you know, and that's possible. Something could happen and make it crash, that's sure. But I don't see anything on, you know, in fundamentals. Now, he was also saying we think the fundamentals are telling us it's going to crash. That I don't see. Because the Federal Reserve is not interested in bringing it down, say, 30% or something like that. And a crash really starts off at around 7%. A one-day move of 7% is basically a crash. Everything else is just noise in the background. Okay. So that is something I thought was well worth looking at, and that is Bitcoin. And you can see we're at the lower end of this range, but this is all-time highs here. So it's like, you know, I mean, if it gets right up to here, where that little cross is, can you see the cross? Let's see if I do this, like that, right up in there. If we got up to that area, that's all-time highs, and that's only, it was there back in the 19th. You know, it's not, you know, we're all in many products, or at least, you know, the major products are being followed in the currencies and the stocks. Not the currencies, I'm sorry, the stocks and the commodities have flirted with all-time highs. And then they sell them down, and of course, I mean, you're at all-time highs. If you don't sell at all-time highs something, you're missing out. And it might go higher, but still, it's well worth trying to sell some at all-time highs. All right. From there, we're going to go over to the energy sector. Let's see what the energy sector looks like. There's crude oil. You see that? It's been in a daily buy now 4 days. It's green again today. And we're assuming that the bar is probably green too, since it was green yesterday. We can see here we're in that weekly sell, and it's been flirting on the edge of the weekly buy. And so we'll show that to you over on the other platform. Right there. You see on the platform today that updates intraday. It updates intraday. You can see it right there. It's very much on the edge, only a minus 0.0 2.4, 24 cents, 25 cents. I hear something. Oh, let me see what that is. Hold on a second. Someone's at the door. Hold on 1 second. We're back. No one was there. Not sure. Maybe the electric did a little shift. You know, sometimes when the electric goes on and off, it does that type of thing. The doorbell, the computers are protected, but and the internet is protected, but not the house. We've had some problems of late, so maybe that's what it was. But anyway, so what we see there is the crude oil pushing up just when, you know, Saudi Arabia pushed out all that stock, which was kind of neat. Let's just take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. We'll go over to the beta, and you'll be able to see oil. There we are. And so there it is on the beta. And then let's go take a look at, what was that other thing I was saying? Crude. I was saying something else. What was that on the beta? The Saudi Arabian stock. Yeah, let's check that out. Right there. Now, this stock, you know, we've seen it has like a ratio of about 1 to 4 on a dollar basis. So, which is interesting. So in other words, when it was at 85, it was trading at 30, and now it's at, what's it trading at right now? Crude oil is trading at 77, which is $7 or $8 down. It's down about $2. And you can see here, the weekly's been in a sell for a while. The daily jumped into the daily buy there yesterday, and let's see, what is it? 9 and 10. This has to be fixed, and so. And that must be, that's 11. See, that's it right there. So, okay, so they must be trading in off the exchange over there. That's why it's like that. So they trade on Sunday. So it's been in a buy for a couple of days there. But I find that interesting because they just pushed out $100 billion worth of stock here. So, and you could tell that this knew it was going to happen. And so you can see we were in weekly sells for a while. The insiders knew. You can look at all those daily sells. And then just right before they announced it, they'd give it a pop on the upside one more time to 30, but not make it up to the 30 and 30.75 or 30.80. And then, bam, we're going to put out 100 billion shares, $100 billion worth of stock. And that drove it down from 30 to 28. $2 drop. Let's look at Brent. Brent. ZB? BR, I think it is. BZ, that's it. BZ, there it is. Brent. And there's Brent. You see Brent, same thing. Days and 3 days in a buy, going on a fourth day now. You see, 4 days of steady buying there. And the weekly is moving up, as you can see right there. Can't wait to see what tomorrow shows us. That could be really cool. Oop, I see. I see what that was. Hey, I'm in the middle of a webinar, but I just realized you rang. I do. Okay, I'll bring it with me. You have a full one? Otherwise, I can go pick up an
No. I got a full one. Don't worry about it. Okay. Aim by out. All right, thank you so much. All right, catch you later. Bye-bye. Okie dokie. So, propane tank. Doc's Gas Company. Let's see. What do we got here?
So from there, what can we find out from there? Let's see. Let's take a look at the natural gas. And that's probably why the European Parliament has shifted to the center right now, and even more, because they're tired of paying all these high prices. Look at it, it's up over $3 a cubic here in the States, so I don't even know what the poor Europeans are doing. But we know one thing for sure. When we look at that, look at it in those weekly buys, and it's doubled almost here in the States. So if it's doubled here in the States, natural gas, what have the poor souls in Europe had to do? So from there, we go take a look at the only view that we have of European, the value of natural gas in Europe, and that is through the Spanish energy company. And we put it up on the screen there, and you can see it. I was impressed. It's pushing itself into a sell. I hope that means something. Oh my goodness, look at that. They clocked it because of the European Parliament. Wow! Look at that move. Wow. What do I say? I can't give you any more evidence than what I've been saying about policy, policy, policy. Policies are going to change on energy values. And so look at that. It dropped from 25 down to close to 21, a $4 drop. And I'm sure we'll start to see that in the States. I think I'm going to go to the other platform, and I think I've seen some action like that. It dipped yesterday, and it's firming a little bit today, but nowhere near what Europe did. Not even close. Not even remote. That is such a... I can't wait to see Giannis. Can't wait to talk to Giannis about that. It's like this is the eyes of the cost of energy in Europe. This particular stock shows us all the time. And so when that stock price goes down, it means that they're making less money from selling it. And that is, wow. I can't wait to see what this looks like for the next couple days. But this is definitely an example of... I wonder what the stock markets are doing over in Europe. Let's take a look and see. You would think that they would be firm from all this, but they have the interest rate problems. So from there, there's the DAX. The DAX is down today from just as much as yesterday. I guess yesterday was not as much. Like there, you can see it. There's today, and so they're pushing that down. You can see the weekly's trying to go into a sell. We're doing that over here in the stock markets too. Let's see what the French looks like. The French has been really screwy lately. I'm not even sure what that problem is. I see what it is. They I don't know. They must be putting in some really wild data on the French market because of the polls and the elections and all that stuff. Look at that. The data is not coming in right now. They'll have to clean that up. Let's see what the FTSE looks like. FTSE's down too. They're selling into that also. The stocks, I've said here for a long while, I've been saying it over and over and over again, the policy of the government in these last 3 years has been to hold up the stock market when we don't see anything but, in other words, at one point, those 7 stocks, what used to call them the Magnificent Seven, was something like 90% of the gain in the stock market because they were up so powerful. So maybe they're a little concerned about the values. Let me just go show you the U.S. stock indices, and then we'll go take a look at Europe. There's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That pushed into the sell last week. And you can see the price has not really come in yet, but maybe I need to sell call spreads. That's saying to me, maybe I need to sell some call spreads. From there, we go over to the Tech 100 right here. And Tech, this is our all-time high area. So, if someone doesn't sell then, when the hell are they going to sell? You see all that strength there in the algorithms. It is getting very close to going into a sell yesterday. I guess if we're down today, it might push into it. And then the S&P 500 right there. Same situation, playing around the all-time highs. And it's hard, I mean, it's hard to knock them down. When you have a Federal Reserve that can step in and prop it up, that does a lot of, it makes it a whole different game. They have such a deep set of pockets of money. They can print money. That's the best thing of all. Imagine if you were a trader and you needed money and all you had to do is print it. Just buy some paper and print it. That's what the Federal Reserve does. It's the printer of American dollars. And so when you can print money, you can come up with all kinds of ways of being long. Making the stock markets look firm and life looking good. And, just a whole bit, So. What else is next? Let's jump over to the... we saw the Bitcoin. Let's see what the Russell's doing. The Russell can be a really solid indicator of speculative money. And speculative money is always the most aggressive when they feel they're near a bottom. Let's see. Right there. And there is the Russell. You can see it's been down for 5 days. 6 days now, going on 7. It's been pressing down. This was like a 6-month high right there. And you can see we're a second week in a weekly sell. Probably heading for a third. We'll know tomorrow when we see the product trading. So that's the most speculative of the indexes. Something like 40 or 50% of the stocks in it have not made any money in the last year. In other words, their earnings are minus. That's what makes it a most speculative thing. Let's take a look at the Nikkei and see what they did over there. Now, Nikkei looks very firm. It was firm yesterday. It's down today, but still firm. It's trying to get into the buy there, so that's pretty cool. Let's check out South Korea. Another one that's been relatively firm, but you can see the daily there. But the weekly, it's been in a weekly sell now for 10 weeks. So all the way back to here, somewhere's up in here, it went into the weekly sell up in this area there. And, it's been consistently, climbed back into a buy, gave us warnings, and then, it's like gone down, gone up, gone down, but it's a higher low right there. See that higher low right there? So, not bad. There's that higher low. Let's go to Taipei and see what the index is doing there in Taiwan. You see there, it's been very firm. Weekly buy now for 5 weeks. Probably a 6th one now. We'll see. And then we go over to the Philippines. And then we'll go to Shanghai. There's Philippines. A couple days in a sell. And 3 weeks in a sell. But, it's in its range, I guess you could say. And then, let's see how the real estate moguls are doing over there in China. There it is right there. There's the Shanghai. They were closed yesterday, but they're down today. And 3 full weeks in a sell, going on a 4th. And then we go over to Hong Kong, Hang Seng. As much as they outperformed the Shanghai, where is it at? There it is right there. You see it's just pushed into the sell 2 weeks ago, and now it's in the sell for a second week, and it's starting the 3rd week in the sell now, and it's been mostly sells. And you can see right there, they plateaued out after having a fantastic run from 16,000 up to almost 20,000. Definitely outperforming the Shanghai, that's for sure. Now Singapore has been like one of the strongest of the indices over there. Singapore Straits Times. It seems to be the replacement of Hong Kong. It always has been too. It's been a great trading place. Very solid government. Very hard to intimidate. You can see here a little weakness now for the last 5 days. And you can see it's trying to slide into the weekly sell as we speak. And then we drift over to Australia, right there. Cracky. Ooh, they took a real punch to it today. They were closed yesterday, but look at that, slammed down. And they've pushed into the sell also. And you can see the weekly is trying to, it looks like it closed out the weekly sell last week. So on Friday. Interesting there. Then we go to the Nifty 50, which also had policy events. They had elections also, at the same time as South Africa did. Where's the Nifty? Right there. And there's Nifty 50. This was policy. The existing Prime Minister lost some power in the Parliament, but not enough to obviously damage it, because look at it. It fell down to 21.5 from basically 23 almost 5 in one day, and then took 3 days to get it right back up to it again. So, you know, if nothing else, today's title is Policies. It really is. And you can see it in the charts. No. Let's see. I think we're going to call it today too. Like, policies are politics in markets. And obviously the European Union, you know, it's obvious that, you know, the European Union switches, and you can see the energy costs drop dramatically. So in other words, you know, the Green New Deal is now the Green Dead Deal. You know, things like that. You know, it's inflation. You know, people have just had it with all that. They just don't want that montage of, you know, government telling people how to live their lives. Now there's the stock market. You can see it's been relatively quiet, really. I mean, it's come down from the 70 of last night to 55, but it seems relatively docile, you know, like a puppy. Not very aggressive, you know. I don't have any real feelings that it, you know, will we sell off? Possibly. And we're at all-time highs. And traders, if you don't take a profit when you're at all-time highs, when are you going to take a profit? You know, I mean, that's what it really comes down to. It's like, if not when, you know, it needs to be taken. That's exactly what it means. It means, you know, basically, you know, it needs, you know, it just does. That's, I guess, is the best way to describe it. All right, traders, we've had enough fun for the day. We've made it very clear with the election in Europe how much policies mean. When you see an energy company lose almost 20% of its value, that says to you, yep, policy means something, and it has an effect on the markets. All right, happy trail. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Catch you on the flip side. We will we will be here tomorrow, same time, and talking what's going on. And obviously, we have the excitement of all that news tomorrow. The ta-ta for now.